In this video, we're going to show you how to install a vapor canister vent solenoid on your Hummer H3 located above the rear differential. Now the component we're going to be replacing is part of this hose here. It runs around to the passenger side and has a canister on the other side. In order to replace that, we need to remove this box. Now there's a bracket right here, and it's a sliding bracket that locks into the side of the charcoal canister here. And you can't remove this until you pull this bracket out. Well, what's holding that is this bolt right here. It's normally a 13 millimeter. Ours is rusted beyond identification. We tried to wire brush it and figure out what it is. We don't know exactly what it is now, but it's not a 13. And as well, the bottom is completely rusted. You can't even identify it. It looks like just a little metal spear. So we need to find a way to remove that and be safe around our fuel system. So if you're dealing with this here, figure out a way to replace or remove this actually, so we can go ahead and pull this bracket and separate it from the lower bracket. And if you do have a usable bolt, go ahead and use the appropriate socket and ratchet. Go ahead, loosen and remove that from the bracket. So I want to go ahead and separate this connector here from the charcoal canister. Now what we're going to do is on each side here is a little locking tab. If you reach around the top and push down, it actually spreads those little locking tabs open. And then you can usually twist and pull this right off. Now if you can't press that down enough, sometimes you can use, or I will use, a 90-degree pick. And I'm simply going to come around the top. I'm not going to use it to use the point, but I can use the side of it to pull this down. And you can see those little tabs pull down. Let's see if I can get it on this side here so you can see a little better. See it? See those tabs moving? And once those open, you can slide that right off like so. Now we're going to move to this vent tube right here. Now this has a plastic flex hose that goes to a metal line. So I want to be careful when removing this if it's rusty like ours. You're going to push in on that top tab there, just like we did on this other one. You might have to use some assistance of a other tool here to go ahead and work that off. There it is. A little persuasion, that pops off. Now this one here has two pinch tabs. And when you pinch on the two sides here, it's supposed to release two locking clips here, and they're pointed inward. They kind of lock inward. What we're going to do is we're going to use two pocket screwdrivers, two flathead screwdrivers, and you can't see it too clearly now, but you're going to get in behind these little locking tabs and pry them outward. And you're going to go ahead and try and wiggle this hose off. All right. So we're able to get that separated. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take that canister and we're going to pull it towards us a little bit. Now with those hoses disconnected, we should be able to reach up, grab that canister. We're going to remove the canister. The component we're replacing just slid off the side right here, and there was an electrical connector attached to it. You can come on over to the side of the unit, and this little red clip, simply pry that up, wiggle that connector off. And it might take a little bit of effort because, well, it's probably filled with dirt and stuff like that, but there's the component right there. Now here we have our charcoal canister, and our new part comes with this bracket. Now ours is pretty much rusted and swollen inside of our retainer clips here. We want to be careful removing this. We don't want to damage the charcoal canister. So however you're going to go ahead and remove this is up to you. We're going to go ahead and use some rust penetrant, try and soak this, and we're going to gently try and tap this out, working this out of the plastic without damaging it. Now that we have that cleared out, we're going to go ahead and spray this down with some solvent. Clean this up and wipe it down. Now we have our new component right here, and it has the new bracket. And there's an electrical connector here, so we're going to be installing the connector after we install this unit. We're going to take this and just simply slide it onto the bracket here. And what we also want to pay attention to is the other end needs to slip on to this side here. So let's go ahead and slide the hose end on first. Bring this around, and we're going to go ahead and push this on. You can hear and feel it snap into place. Grab our component, and we can slide this in and secure it. Now here we have the factory harness that plugs into the original component. Now the new component comes with a jumper wire. It's super simple. You just take this here, line up the little locking tab with the wire on the factory harness, push it together so it secures. And this is the connector that's going to plug into the new component. Now we're going to take the harness here, going to line this up and click this onto the new component. Make sure it clicks on and it's nice and secure. Take your unit here. I'm going to raise this up into position. Now installing this unit here, there's two metal tabs on the back side, so you're going to look up through the bottom. Make sure there's no hoses bound up. Everything is free. Line up the canister and press it into the rear lock tabs. And right here we have our bracket lining up. So before we install all of our hoses, we're going to simply go ahead and grab a replacement nut and bolt for this here to secure this in place. So we sourced our replacement bolt here. You use my gear wrench. You could use the socket if you want, whatever you want to do. Just tighten that down. All right, now our charcoal canister is now secured. Go ahead and install our other hoses here. Let's hit that upper one, line it up. What we're probably gonna do is give that a quick spray with some spray solvent so that that'll slip on a little bit easier. Okay, you're gonna feel and hear those click into place. Now that we have the new component installed, you want to hop into the vehicle, use your scan tool to clear any codes for this, and then go for a road test. At that point there, you're all set.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. the only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.